Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our celebration of Sri Rama's birthday. Welcome to those who have already joined us via Zoom. The program will commence with some chanting by the Sri Sarada nuns. Then we'll be hearing a talk by Mythili, and that will conclude with listening to a talk by Pravrajika Gayatriprana. So I'll now invite the nuns to come and start the chanting.
Aje Vishesha Sundaram Samasta Papa Khandanam Swabhakta Chittaranjanam Sadaiva Rama Madhvayam Jata Kalapa Shopitam Samasta Papa Nashakam Swabhakta Bhiti Bhanjanam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Nija Swarupa Bodhakam Kripakaram Bhavapaham Samam Shivam Niranjanam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Sada Prapancha Kalpitam Yanama Rupa Vastavam Nirakritim Niramayam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Prapanchahina Nirmalam Vikalpaham Niramayam Chideka Rupa Santatam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Bhavabdipotarupakam Yashesha Deha Kalpitam Gunakaram Kripakaram Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Maharshi Vakya Bodhakai Virajamana Vakpadai Saroja Janma Sevitam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam Shiva Pradam Sukha Pradam Bhavachidam Brahmapaham Virajamana Daishikam Bhaje Rama Madhvayam.
We look forward to listening to the talk by Mythili. She's had a long association with us and through the family, long and very close association with Ramakrishna order. So we're very happy that she has agreed to give the talk this morning. Okay.
My pranams to Gayatriprana Mataji, Lama Matajis, to everyone here in the Vedanta hall today, physically and virtually. Thank you. Thank you for asking me to make this talk. When Mataji first called me and asked me to talk about Lord Rama, my first thought was that I actually know this story relatively well. So as a Bharatanatyam dancer in my pre-children life, I've performed and seen performed many parts of the Ramayana. So that's Rama's life, stories from Rama's life. The Rama story is part of the Dasavataram. So that's the story of all the incarnations of Vishnu on earth. And Rama is the seventh avatar. So he came to earth to defeat the demon Ravana, who was unchecked by boons received from Lord Shiva, and he was lost to his ego. So I thought I would start my talk by sharing with you some of the key parts of Rama's life through some of the dance poses that I've learned. So firstly, Rama's father was King Sarada. He was the king of Ayodhya, a very blessed city, and he was well loved by his people. Hopefully I can talk loudly, Robert, and still be heard. I'll try that. So he was very blessed. So his only sadness in life was that he didn't have any children. He had no sons to take over his kingdom when he left. So to try to answer that problem, he went to a very powerful sage. And this sage did a very powerful puja, yajna. And as a result of this puja, King Dasarada was blessed with 4 children from his 3 wives. And the first child, the firstborn, was a son, and that was Rama. Do you want to speak a bit louder? Okay, cool, thank you. Perfect. So the firstborn was Rama. So Rama was destined to inherit the kingdom of King Dasarada. He was a prince, and he was beloved by his father, all his mothers, all his brothers, the people. He was very much loved. So the next part of Rama's story that I remember very well is the story of his marriage to Sita. Now, the story is that Sita's father said, the man that can win Sita's hand in marriage has to be someone who can lift a very special bow, a celestial bow from Lord Shiva. So, an incredibly, rare and divine bow. And in this production, I happened to play one of the hapless suitors. So I was very arrogant, and I thought I was extremely strong. And I came up to this bow. And of course, failed miserably to lift the bow. Then came Rama, and he, of course, very easily lifted the bow. And then he attempted to string it. And in the process of stringing it, the bow broke. And that's how strong he was. And in doing so, he won the hand of Sita, and they were married. So after the wedding, the next kind of key story in the dance dramas anyway, will be the story of right before Prince Rama's coronation, when he was going to, inherit the kingdom from his father, who was growing old. Now, the key part in this story is that one of King Dasarada's wives, Kaikeyi, is persuaded by her, well, in the story I had, persuaded by her nurse or maid, Mandara, that is not fair, that it should be Kaikeyi's son, Bharata, who should be king. It should be her son, not Rama, who is given the kingdom. And Kaikeyi is persuaded, and the dramatic scene is Kaikeyi is persuaded, and she's waiting to talk to King Dasarada. And she takes off all her hair trappings, she takes off all her jewelry, and she waits, lying on the floor, for King Dasarada to come. And when he does, she basically demands from him the boons that he promised her from a time when she saved his life on battlefield. And the result of that is that Rama is banished to the forest for 14 years. And it is to everyone's disappointment. King Dasarada is heartbroken. Rama's brothers are heartbroken. Bharata doesn't want him to go. He wants him to stay. He begs him to stay. Everyone begs him to stay. They love Rama. But Rama is very honorable. He's very true. He says, no, this is my father's word, and I will obey the wishes because that's the right thing to do. So Bharata is left with Rama's slippers, which he puts at the foot of the throne to represent Rama's rightful ruling. And Rama leaves for the forest, accompanied by his wife Sita, and accompanied by his very faithful brother Lakshmana. So they leave for the forest for their exile. Now, in the forest, there are many adventures and many good deeds done. But I think the key next part of the story really is Sita's kidnapping. So that all starts with a deer. a very beautiful deer, a deer that Sita is entranced with, that she absolutely must have. And she sends Rama to bring her this deer. And when Rama doesn't return, she asks Lakshmana to go to get this deer or help Rama as well. So Lakshmana agrees to go, but first he draws a line. And he tells Sita not to cross the line. I think we can all guess what happens next. Sita is tricked. She, in the guise of giving alms to a beggar, crosses the line. She's captured by Ravana and she's kidnapped. And so begins the war. So Rama then wages war on Lanka to retrieve, to save Sita. And I actually saw an incredible production at Kalakshetra Academy in Chennai, where they did the most incredible scene of the monkey army led by Hanuman and the king, and throwing rocks to form a bridge. So throwing rocks and forming a bridge to get to Lanka, and Hanuman flying to bring back a mountain which held the herb to actually save Lakshmana's life when he was poisoned, and all the dramatic scenes. But generally, the dance productions would end when the final battle between Rama and Ravana, and Rama would kill Ravana. And that would be the end. That would be the end of the story and the end of the general tale that we danced anyway, and there was general rejoicing. So I hope you guys enjoyed my very short, dramatic retelling of Rama's story through my dance days, essentially, which I'm glad I get the chance to do that again after a very long time. So those are my first thoughts. The first thoughts was, my dance, depictions of Lord Rama. My second thoughts were more driven from when I was quite young. I actually read the Ramayana. I don't know who the author was. It's a book that my grandma Pati had, and it was illustrated, and I read it. And I think the part of the story that I was most kind of affected by, especially at the time, was my namesake, Sita, Princess Sita. So Sita was born of the earth, in the ground, in the city of Mythila. And that's for whom I'm named after, Mythili. So when you look at her story in the Ramayana, it's quite difficult. First, she's, they're forced into exile, and she's forced to accompany her husband into exile. Then she's kidnapped. She's kidnapped by Ravana and held for more than a year as a prisoner. Then when she's finally reunited, to prove her faithfulness, she walks through fire to prove that she's been true. When I read the story, I remember thinking, I don't see Rama walking through fire, Why is it that Sita needs to walk through fire? Then finally, I thought they would get their happy ending. She's walked through the fire. And then again, there's the gossip of the washerman. So he essentially, a spy overhears him saying to his wife, who slept the night somewhere else, I think due to bad weather, that no, can't come back to my house. You're now banished. I'm no Lord Rama to accept someone who's a wife who's been away from their marital home. And as a result of this, Rama banishes Sita and his unborn children, into the forest, into a sage, which is, I also found very sad. Then finally, Rama finds his sons almost by chance and is reunited with his sons and potentially Sita. And I thought, oh yes, finally, better late than never. But no, Sita at that final stage is on the way back to the kingdom. She's had enough. She returns to the earth. She returns to her mother. And, I think I can empathize. I think after all that, I'd want to go to my mother's house as well, be something that would be quite nice. So, I did see that. So I kind of, I was very moved by that story. And I spend a lot of time preparing for this talk, thinking about, how do you take the good and the stories that aren't so good, and what do you learn from the story of Lord Rama? And in that process, I actually went on a bit of a journey. So I spoke to 4 of my close friends, very, very close to me. I've known them since they're 10 years old. We all went to Tamil class together. And I went through each of them and I sort of said, look, I'm giving this talk and these are the kinds of things I'm thinking about and grappling with. You know, what do you think about Lord Rama and this Ramayana story? You know, what do you take away from it? So my first friend, she said to me, Mythili, Ravana is the most misunderstood character in the Rama story. There's no black and white. He was a really tragic character. He was an excellent musician. He was an excellent architect. He was so skilled and so intelligent. And for his downfall is really the tragedy of the Rama story, that someone so talented could fall to ego and be lost. And that's the lesson learned for us to be wary of. And Ravana is the tragedy of Ramayana, not Sita. So that was her opinion, which I thought was interesting. Then my second friend said, Mythili, it's a style of different characters and preferences. And she asked me, as a lover or wife, would you prefer the committed, faithful, single-minded love of Rama that at a distance? Or would you like Krishna to have many wives, but be very loving and generous? And I said, I think I'd prefer my husband. It's okay. Maybe than either of these 2 extreme options. So I asked my third friend and I told her what I was thinking and the story, and she wasn't as familiar with the story, but she said to me that it actually reminded her of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was, as you all know, incredible leader, incredible activist, accomplished so many things in such a spiritual, noble way, the path of ahimsa. But at the end, he gave up his wife and his children. He didn't have a relationship with them at the end when he achieved all that. And she said, maybe the cost of greatness is your family. And I thought, oh, I'm not sure. Sort of didn't feel, that to be what I wanted to take away from the story. So then I asked my fourth friend, who's actually very familiar with the Lord Rama story, and her argument to me was this. She said, Mythili, Rama's dharma is that of a prince. So his duty was to put his country first. So although in our modern times, getting rid of your wife because of gossip might not seem very just or kingly or very visionary, at that time, it was an example of him setting a standard. It was an example of him adhering to values that are, incredibly important to have a moral baseline or foundation of your country. And in what he did and the actions he took, he was trying to make sure that that was going to happen. So that was her take. But then she said to me, her take on Rama's story is not any of that. It's actually what she takes from him as a character is his equanimity. I say that word, right? Equanimity. And she quoted a verse that she was very passionate about in the Gita, or at least half of it. Sukha dukkhe same kritva. So hopefully I pronounce it okay. But essentially it's, happiness or distress, you treat with the same equanimity. And, that's half the quote. The full quote we've learned in the Gita class. And I love that message because it's, I think it's what we all strive for, whether we are the joyous coronation where the whole city is going wild and celebrating him, but the exile, the loss of his wife, every episode, Rama treats with the same balance, the same equanimity. And, for us to be able to approach the events in our lives with that kind of presence and peace is something absolutely for us to aspire to. But after all that, I thought I have to also have my own lessons from Lord Ramayana. I can't just listen to all my friends' takes and versions of him, as interesting and as inspiring as they are. And I thought about it and I thought, I think the story and the way I've interpreted and what, I can take away from it, as a normal householder, is to make sure that I balance my duties across family, children, work, friends, spiritual life. And I think it's almost easy in some respects to pour all your efforts into one at the cost of everything else, but that's not my dharma or my duty. You know, that's not how I live a good life. I think for us to live a valued life is to try and make time for it all. You know, and Mataji talks about a story about, you know, a worker in the fields just, you know, spending 1 minute or 5 minutes meditating every day, you know, making the time for all the different parts of your life. And I think that's kind of the lesson I learned, is that to do that, you need to be ever vigilant and not to let one part of your life prosper at the cost of another. And that the best way for me to live my life and to make the most of it is to try to balance my responsibilities across all the people that rely on me and all the parts of my soul that I need to fulfill as well. And I think that's a very important lesson to learn and to follow. So, thank you.
Well, that had all the elements of a great talk, a bit of a theatrical element, some personal anecdotes, interesting reflections. So you've done such a good job, Mythili. We're going to be having you back here for future talks. I'm maybe not sorry to tell you. Now I'll invite Gayatriprana.
Thank you, Mythili. I'm sure those who missed, they really missed. And your friends this evening, I'll be telling them, you really missed. We had a Gita class and I'll tell them, oh, only thing you didn't do is sing a song. Maybe next time we add that also. Apadam apahartaram dataram sarvasampada lokabhiramam Sriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. My repeated salutations to Sri Rama, who protects the devotees from dangers, bestows prosperity on them, and gives delight to the world at large. Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two great epics of Hinduism. Both deal with story of the royal family. And both epics uphold righteousness, dharma, and truthfulness, satya. They are the two main pillars, satya and dharma. And both deal with the story of brothers, cousins. In Ramayana, the number of characters are not many, and story is simple. Storyline is simple, easy to follow. The Mahabharata, 3-4 generations, so many families involved, and so much of intrigues going on there, intrigues and schemings. So it's very hard to those who are not really brought up in that culture to remember all the names and the storyline. And the most prominent difference between the two is the principal emotions dealt in that. In Ramayana, it's pain and suffering. In Mahabharata, it is jealousy and revenge. You see from the beginnings, jealousy and revenge going on. And both involves succession to the throne. In Ramayana, you see the brothers vying with one another to give the throne to the other person. And in Mahabharata, they are fighting for the throne, ending up in a huge civil war. And one more thing we have to see, in Ramayana, Lord Rama is presented mostly as a human being, whereas in Mahabharata, when Krishna comes, he is mostly a divine being. Swami Vivekananda says, the national ideal of India is renunciation and service. Intensify her in those channels, and all other things will come of themselves. the two ideas, renunciation and service. We see that in the life of the principal characters of Ramayana. Real service is not possible without self-sacrifice. If you want to serve somebody, you have to give up your ego. You have to push yourself to the back and put the other person in front. It's not that what I want to do for that person. No, what that person wants me to do. So we have to think about the other person first. It's not what my likes and dislikes. No, it's not that. It is what the other person wants. So Samaji says about self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice, not self-assertion, is the highest law of universe. Self-sacrifice, not self-assertion, is the highest law of the universe. Religion comes with intense self-sacrifice. Desire nothing for yourself. Do all for others. So, Sri Rama's life, we see intense self-sacrifice. He started his life of service as a teenager. When Vishwamitra, the sage Vishwamitra, came to ask Dasharatha for Rama's help to protect his sacrifice, a demoness and other demons in the forest or ogres, they were polluting his sacrifice and interrupting, so he wanted protection. Well, the sage himself with his spiritual power could have done it, but then he has a purpose in taking Rama. From there, he went on to do many other things in Ramayana. You can see after killing the demoness Tataka and securing that the sage's sacrifice is safe, he went on, or rather the sage took him to the hermitage of Gautama, where Ahilya had to be rescued from the curse. Then on to Mythila, where he participated in the Swayamvara or the wedding, and won Sita in the contest. We saw how Rama was able to lift the bow and break it in a minute. When Rama was asked to kill the Tataka, the demoness Tataka, Rama had his reservations. Killing a woman is one of the most heinous sins according to the Hindu code of conduct. But sage Vishwamitra said, for the protection of people, even that which is sinful or wrong must invariably be done by one whose duty it is to protect. So if you are meant to protect people, if your duty is to protect people, then you may have to do something which is not right. But for the greater good of the society, you have to do something which is not right, which is sinful even. And before they left for the forest with Rama and Lakshmana, with the sage, Dasharatha had given him the instruction that whatever the sage says must be obeyed implicitly. So Rama has no choice but to obey the sage. And he did that in spite of his scruples. Later, during the 14 years in the forest, he served the sages of the Dandaka forest by protecting them from the demons who were harassing them. And afterwards, after winning the battle, rescuing Sita, killing Ravana, came back, and he served the people of Ayodhya as the king. It's not so easy. We think that, oh, kings have such a beautiful, wonderful life, so easy. But they had to make the supreme sacrifice. Serve the people of Ayodhya as the king by making the supreme sacrifice of banishing Sita, fully knowing that she is innocent, she is pure, but to satisfy the people, as Mythili already described how he was forced to because of the gossip, to please the subjects. And Swamiji says, Swami Vivekananda, in his lecture on Sages of India, he says, the king is the servant of his people. The king, the ruler, is the servant of the people and has to bow down to their wishes. If you look at our rulers around the world, we don't see anywhere that, but that's the ideal. That's why we speak about the ideal kingdom as Rama Rajya, Rama's kingdom. That's the ideal. The ideal king, ideal ruler is the servant of the people. Bow down, he or she has to bow down to the people's wishes. So we see Rama sacrificing everything. He gave up his kingdom to keep up the word of his father. Father promised, gave his word to Kaikeyi that Rama will be sent to forest. So he went. No objection, nothing. And again, to satisfy the people, he had to give up Sita. All through the Ramayana, we get ample evidence of the love the brothers had for one another. When Bharata went to the forest to bring Rama back. Now Bharata, according to the boon, Rama is to stay in the forest for 14 years and Bharata is to be the king, ascend to the throne. And Dasharatha is already dead. But Bharata refused. He went to the forest to bring Rama back. And along with his whole army, he went. Now, Lakshmana and Rama saw in the distance, clouds rising up. What's the matter? What's happening? So Lakshmana climbed on a tall tree and found a huge army. And then he found the flag of Ayodhya kingdom. So Bharata is coming. And Lakshmana's whole life is Rama. Protecting Rama is his sole purpose of his life. Now, why is Bharata coming here? Isn't he happy, satisfied with getting the kingdom? He wants to get rid of Rama himself. That's why he's coming. Straight away, Lakshmana decided. So, what is he going to do? I'll kill him. I'll kill Bharata. So, such short-tempered person, Lakshmana, we see in Ramayana. And Rama asked, what did Bharata do to you to make you say such harsh words about him? And then he further asked, do you think that I'll be happy to enjoy the kingdom and ascend the throne after breaking my promise to my father? That I will stay in the forest for 14 years and after killing Bharata? Then he says, Rama says, to pacify Lakshmana, he says, I seek virtue, fortune, gratification of sense, and even sovereignty of the earth, only for the sake of my brothers, and not for any personal gain. See, everything he wants for his brothers. If it is not to be enjoyed along with the brothers, he doesn't want to enjoy anything. Now, let us have a look at Bharata's character. Now, first, when you hear Rama was banished to the forest for the sake of Bharata, we think Bharata is a villain. If you look at the life of the character of Bharata, you say what a noble person he is. In the character of Bharata, Valmiki has depicted to what great heights a human being can rise when cleansed by love and devotion. Bharata was innocent. He didn't know anything about the scheming that Kaikeyi is planning. And he came, even when the message was sent to Bharata to come back from his grandfather's house. Bharata was with his grandfather, Kaikeyi's father, the kingdom of Kaikeyi's father. He had no idea what's happening in Ayodhya. He didn't know Rama was banished to the forest. He didn't know Dasharatha was has died of heart, broken heart. Had no idea. And when he came here, everybody is suspecting him. And even Kausalya, who knew how much Bharata loved Rama, hearing that Bharata has come back, and she goes to meet him. Well, in the meantime, Bharata has already met his mother and came to know what has happened. And Kausalya tells him, now you enjoy the kingdom. Your mother has won the kingdom for you. Enjoy it without any obstacles, any difficulties. And please send me also to the forest. Your mother has sent Rama to the forest. Now you can send me to the forest so that I can stay with Rama. Bharata was so hurt by these taunting words. And he pleads with her, makes so many oaths to prove his innocence. How innocent he is, he didn't know anything what is happening here. And of course, Kausalya was much pleased to see that Bharata's mind was unaffected by the sudden turn of fortune, that he got the kingdom, he got the throne, which was unexpected, but his mind was not influenced by that. And he hasn't deviated from the path of righteousness. Kausalya was very pleased with him and blesses him. And when Bharata went to the forest to with the idea of bringing Rama back, first they had to cross the river Ganga to reach the forest. Now, near the Ganga, there is the hunter community living there with the chief Guha, who is a very close friend, devotee of Rama. Now, seeing Bharata come, of course, Guha thought, why is he coming now? Again with his army. Surely he must be thinking of destroying Rama. Otherwise, why should he bring the army? Instead of ruling the kingdom, he has got the kingdom and is not satisfied. He wants to kill Rama. So Guha tells his people, you all guard the boats so that they won't be able to cross the river. Unless they cross the river, they can't go to the forest. First, they had to cross Ganga. So make sure that they don't get into the boat. Let me first go and ascertain what his intentions are. And when he goes there with, as the customary offering to the king, and Guha was introduced to Bharata. Bharata was so happy to see, he's a friend of my Lord Rama. And then he says, I want to bring Rama back to Ayodhya and make him the king. He's the king. I'm not the king. I'm his servant. Then he requests Guha to show where Rama slept, where he sat for the night, all that. And he was so overwhelmed and proved through his actions, his behavior, that he has got no intention, no evil intention against Rama. The same thing happened further. Then the next day they go to the hermitage of sage Bharadwaja. He's an all-knowing sage. Still, what is the first question he asks? Why have you come so far away to the forest, living instead of ruling the kingdom in Ayodhya? Hope you don't have any evil intent against Rama. Bharata was again hurt. Again, he has to fall at the feet of the sage and say, no, I don't have, I want to take Rama back to the forest, back to Ayodhya. Then the sage says, yes, I know that. I know what was in your mind, because he is he knows what's happening in the future. He can read the mind. It's a knower of Brahman. But still, I put this question to you to make your resolve stronger, to strengthen your resolve to take Rama back. That's why I put this question to you, and also to make your fame more greater. so that people talk highly about you. That's why I did that. Even before Rama was sent to the forest, sage Vasishta tells Kaikeyi, you don't know your son. He will never accept this kingdom. Kaikeyi, your ambition to own the kingdom, in your ambition to own the kingdom, you have lost sight of one truth. You have not remembered the nature of Bharata. He will not be willing to accept the throne. I know these children of the king better than you do. Because, of course, he was the teacher. They lived with him for at least 12 years. So when they were children, he knows what each one is. So that's what Sage Vasishta tells Kaikeyi. He won't accept the king throne. And how true it is. Bharata denounced his mother for his actions. He said, you are no longer my mother. I won't consider you as my mother at all. And he was ready to go to the forest and stay there in the forest, live in the forest for 14 years instead of Rama. In the place, his argument is, somebody has to be in the forest for 14 years. I'll live in the forest for 14 years. Let Rama rule the kingdom. Or if Rama refuses to come back, I'll stay there with him. I don't know. I don't care what happens to the kingdom. That is his attitude. When Shatrughna, that is his stepbrother or twin brother of Lakshmana, you know the 4 brothers, they are into 2 groups. Rama and Lakshmana together and Bharata and Shatrughna together. Lakshmana and Shatrughna are the sons of Sumitra. They are in the 2 groups. Lakshmana went with Rama to the forest. Now Shatrughna had gone to Bharata's grandfather's palace with Bharata. Now, when they came back and found all these things happening, and they came to know that Mandhara, the nurse, Kaikeyi's nurse, was the instigator of all this plot, Shatrughna wanted to kill her. But Bharata stopped her. But one reason was, this would displease Rama. I would have killed my mother, but Rama would not talk to me afterwards. That's the only fear. Rama would be displeased. So I had desisted from killing my mother. And so you also don't harm this lady. Otherwise, Rama will be extremely angry with us, annoyed with us. And he says, we should do what Rama would have done. Forgive her and not punish her. And that's a sign of real love. Do what that person would have done, or that person would have liked to do, not what I would like to, or what I'll be happy to do or please me. No, not what that person would have loved. And the meeting of Rama and Bharata are very touching. He tries his best to persuade Rama to come back to the Ayodhya. The sages and the citizens of Ayodhya who had accompanied Bharata to the forest, they were all touched by the way Bharata was arguing with Rama. And he even made a point, spread the kusha grass and I'm going to lie down there and fast till death. All tricks he used just to bring Rama back to Ayodhya. But Rama was adamant, no, hold on to truthfulness. Truthfulness, what is truthfulness? To fulfill whatever you have promised to do. Never deviate even for a little from that, no. And then at last, Vasishta had to explain, real love is, or selflessness is doing what the other person wants is happy to be. For Bharata, his selflessness should be to do what Rama wants him to do. Remove his ideas, not what he wants. He all the time he was thinking the whole world will blame me. So I was there before. His I was there. His ego. What will the world think of me? And by sending Rama to the forest. So Vasishtha explained him, no, you should do what pleases Rama. So he had to agree. He had to accept that he will rule the kingdom. But then he put a condition. No, not as a king, but as a representative of Rama. And he took Rama's sandals to represent him. And in his name, he ruled the kingdom, not from Ayodhya. He stayed outside the capital in a small village, lived like a hermit, just like as Rama was living in the forest. Matted hair, and cloth or bark or animal hide as their dress, and eating roots and fruits, sleeping on the floor, just as Rama lived in the forest. Maybe harder, because in the forest he had to, of course, Rama in the forest had to deal with the demons and others. Here he had to fight with whoever enemies who were attacking the kingdom, and deal with the people, see the administration, and in the midst of all that, live like a hermit. You should see how great Bharata's character is. And in the Ramayana, we can see there are 3 kingdoms changing hands. Ayodhya is from Dasharatha to come to Rama. No, it didn't come. It continued to Bharata and then back to Rama. Then there is Kishkindha, the kingdom of the Vanaras. Vanara, they're not really monkeys. Vananara, forest dwellers. The kingdom come from Vali to Sugriva. Then the kingdom of Sri Lanka, from Ravana to Vibhishana. So there is 3 kingdoms involved, the ruler changing from one brother to another. They're all brothers. Each one, Vali and Sugriva are brothers. Ravana and Vibhishana brothers. Rama and Bharata brothers. But there's a big difference. Sugriva and Vibhishana, though, both of them are very good people, not over ambitious, but they like to have the throne and did not mind their brother being killed in that to get that throne, that position. But look at Bharata, he did not care for that at all. He did not care even that kingdom that came to him unasked. No, he didn't want. And he was just waiting for Rama to come back after the 14 years. That was the condition, he said, when he accepted to rule the kingdom in the name of Rama. He said, you must be back the day the 14th year completes. If you don't come back, I'll end the fire. And Rama, when he finished the 14 years, they're coming back, reached the hermitage of sage Bharadwaja. He sent Hanuman to give the news that Rama is on his way back, to give the news to Bharata. And Rama gives him instruction. Watch his facial expression, his body language. See whether he has got attached to the throne. If you find any indication that he doesn't want to give the throne, then I'll go back to the forest. So be careful, we watch carefully his body language, how his facial expression, everything. But Bharata was just waiting. As soon as he heard Rama is back, he was so happy, get the everything organized for the coronation of Rama. So that's it. Nothing more to think about it. When Vibhishana came to Rama seeking protection, Vibhishana advised Ravana to give Sita back, to protect, to save the wrath of, save Lanka from the wrath of Rama. Of course, Ravana, in his egotism, didn't listen and instead asked him to leave the country. So Vibhishana came to Rama and told, I am Ravana's brother, I'm seeking your protection. And all the Rama's advisors, Sugriva, Jambavan, and all the others, all said, don't trust him. He is Ravana's brother. How can we trust? We should not trust him. He betrayed his, Sugriva says, he betrayed his brother and come here, and then who knows when he will betray us. Then Rama says in his reply, there are different type of brothers are there. In this world, all brothers are not like Bharata. That's a high. What more can you praise or commendation can get Bharata other than this? There's no, not all brothers are like Bharata. Brothers like Bharata are very, very rare. Now we look at Lakshmana. Lakshmana is a personification of dedication, wholehearted service to Rama. He was furious that Rama was banished. He would not have minded if it happened to him. If he was asked to go, they would not have any problem. He would have gone easily. But why Rama? No, he will do anything to have Rama back in the kingdom, on the throne. For he was even ready to bind up Dasharatha so that Rama can become the king. Or he says, I'll kill the king. He is an old daughter listening to his wife under the control of the woman. We should not listen to him at all. Why should we listen to him? I got all the power. I can, the whole army of the king, I can oppose single-handedly. I'm so strong. You don't have to worry. All these ravings is going on, all because it happened to Rama. So Rama had a great struggle to pacify Lakshmana. And because Kausalya was so sad, Lakshmana tells Kausalya, wherever Rama goes, I'll be with him. If Rama goes to enters the fire, I'll enter the fire. If Rama goes to the forest, I'll go to the forest. So I won't leave Rama. That is, Lakshmana is just like a shadow. Rama himself says, you are my own self in another body. And later, when Rama became the king, he wanted to make Lakshmana the crown prince. Lakshmana refused. Lakshmana's only aim in life is to serve Rama. So in the end, Rama had to make Bharata the crown prince. Lakshmana refused because he wanted to serve Rama. And he got great encouragement in this from his mother. When he went to take leave of his mother, Sumitra, before going to the forest. It's a famous utterance of Sumitra. She says, give the advice, Ramam Dasaratham Vidhi, Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja, Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi, Gacha Tata Yatha Sukham. Ramam Dasaratham Vidhi. Look upon Rama as Dasharatha himself. That's your father. Mam Vidhi Janagatmaja. And Sita, look upon Sita as myself, as your mother. So Rama is your father, Sita is your mother. And Ayodhya, where is the kingdom? The forest is your kingdom. Forest is Ayodhya. Having that idea, my child, go happily. She is advising. She is such a level-headed lady. She advises Lakshmana to have the same-sightedness. Look upon Rama as Dasharatha, as father, Sita as mother, and the forest as the kingdom. So you are still in Ayodhya, no problem. In Ayodhya with your parents. What's there to worry about? Be happy. What better blessings can you get from your mother? Sumitra is such a level-headed person. Lakshmana, when he's very young, gets angry very quickly, and pacifies also, can be pacified quickly. When Bharata was going there, as I said earlier, he wanted to kill Bharata without knowing why Bharata is coming. Straight away decided, oh, he is coming to kill Rama, so I'll get rid of him first. And Rama had to pacify him. Again, after Sita was abducted, and they made friendship with Sugriva, Sugriva said, I'll send my army and search for Sita. But then it is a rainy season, 4 months of rainy season. Once the rainy season is over, I'll start. The rainy season is over, but Sugriva hasn't sent his people to search for Sita. Rama is getting impatient, and seeing Rama upset, Lakshmana is all the more upset, and he goes to Sugriva ready to kill him. And so angry, he was terribly angry. And Sugriva at that time, see, after a long time, he was hiding from his brother Vali earlier, because they had a fight and he wanted to kill. So now he has got back to the kingdom, back to the palace, enjoyments with his wives and all the enjoyment. So he was completely immersed in enjoyment. He forgot. He completely forgot. But then Hanuman reminded him, and straight away asked for the army to collect and send people around. But Lakshmana doesn't know all these things. Lakshmana is furious, ready to kill Sugriva. And Sugriva sends Tara, Vali's wife, to pacify Lakshmana, because she is very diplomatic in her way of speaking. So Tara, with her polite and humble words, pacified Lakshmana, and then informed him that, no, the army has already started searching for their people. They are all collecting here. Sugriva has sent word for the army to be collected, and then soon they will all be dispatched in all the 4 directions to search for Sita. So Lakshmana was pleased. So easy to be pleased. So easy to get angry and so easy to please. And Rama had great faith in the prowess of Lakshmana. When Indrajit, Ravana's son, he was almost invincible. Indrajit's name means one who has defeated Indra, the lord of the kings, lord of the or king of the gods. He was so powerful. And Rama sends Lakshmana to fight with him. And I'll just speak about little about Hanuman. Because we cannot think about Rama without thinking about Hanuman. I'm not going to speak about Sita because Mythili has already spoken about her namesake. I don't have to go further into that. In Hanuman, we see the ideal of Dasya Bhakti, devotion as the servant, the ideal servant, looking upon God as master and oneself as the servant. Sri Ramakrishna says that this is a very good attitude. As long as body consciousness is there, we cannot get rid of our I. Then the ego comes, I do this, I do that, and all those things. So have the idea that I'm the servant of God. I'm the child of God. That's easy. Then I is there, but what Sri Ramakrishna calls it as the ripe I. The unripe I is the one which says, oh, I did so many things. I'm so powerful. I'm so famous. I'm so strong. I'm so rich. All that I comes there. That is the unripe I. But the ripe I says, I'm the child of God. I'm the servant of God. That servant of God, the ideal we see in Hanuman. Hanuman is not just a devotee, he was also a great jnani also, a knower of the highest truth, knower of Brahman, you can say. Once it seems Rama asked Hanuman, how do you look upon me? Then Hanuman replied, when I'm conscious of the body, I'm your servant and you are the master. When I look upon myself as an individual soul, I am part of you. When I realize that I am the Atman, then I am verily you. There's no difference. And he says, this is my firm conviction. There are 3 stages. When we have got to go conscious of the body, then you are the master, I'm the servant. When I am thinking of myself as the individual soul, I am part of you. When I know that I'm the Atman, when I realize that Atmanhood, then there's no difference between you and me. The same Atman is in all. And then he says, this is my firm conviction. When the Hanuman first met Rama, when Rama and Lakshmana were roaming the forest searching for Sita. They have no idea where Sita is, who has taken Sita. Of course, we heard from Jatayu, the vulture king, who tried to stop Ravana taking Sita, that Ravana has taken. But where is Ravana? No idea. Then they met Shabari, a great devotee, a huntress. She said, you go to this place, Rishimuka, and there you make friendship with Sugriva. He will help you. So there's little bit directions getting. So they came, but where to meet Sugriva? I had no idea. And Sugriva, for his part, seeing these 2 young men with bow and arrow walking, who are they? But Sugriva got frightened. Who are they? Are they going to, because he is hiding from his brother, Vali. So he sent Hanuman to find out. Hanuman took the form of a young brahmachari, young student, and went up to Rama and Lakshmana and asked who they are to introduce. After talking to Hanuman, Rama made this comment to Lakshmana, did you notice the beauty of his language and how correct and rhythmic his enunciation is? He speaks like one who has mastered the Vedas and the science of grammar. An ideal messenger he is. Fortunate is the king who has such a messenger. He was an ideal messenger, there's no doubt about it. When he went to Lanka, here knowing that Sita is there, and Rama has given his signet ring to Hanuman to show to Sita. So he crossed the ocean, reached there, saw Sita, showed. So Sita was sure that this is messenger from Rama, got the message from Sita, a proof, a ornament from her hair she gave, and some incident which only Sita and Rama knew, nobody else knew. He gave all this proof to show that Hanuman has met Sita. Then what did he do? He wrecked the garden of Ravana. What was that? We'll say, oh, that's a monkey nature. He has a purpose behind that. Destroying the garden So of course they will come to attack him. That's a chance for him to show his strength. And finally, he was bound by the weapon of Brahmastra by Indrajit's, Ravana's son. Earlier, he killed one of the sons of Ravana. He straight away, that time itself, he killed the son of Ravana, Akshaya. He was brought to in front of Ravana. So it's a good chance to see the palace, see the ideal strategic positions, where the army, and then of course he advises Ravana to give Sita back. Of course, Ravana is not going to listen. So what did Ravana think? Ravana think, first he wanted to kill. Then Vibhishana interfered, saying that no, he's a messenger. Why should he kill the messenger? Messengers should not be killed. He is coming, our fight is with the master, not with the messenger. So then let's humiliate him. For a monkey, the tail is the most important part. Let us set fire to his tail. So they tied cloth. The story goes that the more they tied cloth, the longer the tail became. Anyway, they tied the tail, wrapped the cloth, poured oil, set fire, and then started parading him through the city streets. Hanuman took that opportunity to have a good look at the city and take all the information so that can be used in the upcoming battle. And with his faith in Rama, gave him faith in himself. When they had to cross the ocean, the monkeys were told that Sri Lanka is on the other side of the ocean, of the sea, Arabian Sea. You had to cross. There's no bridge, nothing. You had to jump across the strait. 100 yojanas. It's a great distance. Who can do? Each one said, I can go this much, I can do this much, and the crown prince Angada said, I think I can jump one way, but I don't know whether I will have the strength to come back. So if you don't come back, what's the point? If you won't get the information, then Hanuman is the only one who could do that. Hanuman got that strength with his faith in Rama. His strong faith in Rama, in the name of Rama, he was able to jump across the ocean and come back. So Swami Vivekananda says, you have now to make the character of Mahavir, that's Hanuman, your ideal. See how at the command of Ramchandra, he crossed the ocean. He had no care for life or death. He was a perfect master of his senses. Perfect master of his senses. When he went to Lanka, reached Lanka, and searching for Sita, where? Searching everywhere. He went even into the inner apartments of Ravana, because the ladies are there. Ravana has got so many wives and other ladies in his harem from all over the world, the 3 worlds, searching there. But Hanuman's mind is not at all wavering, seeing all these ladies sleeping in different ways. No, his mind was intent on one ideal, search for Sita, Mother Sita. He is a perfect master of his senses and wonderfully wise. As on one hand, Hanuman represents the ideal service. So on the other, he represents lionel strength, courage, striking the whole world with awe. He has not the least hesitation in sacrificing his life for the good of Rama. See, it's another example of self-sacrifice for the sake of Rama. And his ideal is so one-pointed that there is one verse which is supposed to be uttered by Hanuman. He says, Srinathe Janagi Nathe Abheda Paramatmini Tathapi Mama Sarvasam Rama Kamalalochana. I know that Srinatha, the Lord of Sri, that is Lord Vishnu, and Janaki Natha, the Lord of Janaki, that is Rama, are Abheda, non-distinct. They are not different. But for me, my sole attention is only on Rama. I know that Rama and Vishnu are same, but I want Rama. The story goes that in the incarnation of Krishna, that was the next Yuga, Treta Yuga. Rama is in Treta Yuga, Krishna is in Dwapara Yuga after so many thousands of years. It seems Hanuman came to see Sri Krishna. Now, Krishna told his queen Rukmini, Hanuman is coming. He is the guest. We should please him. And what will please him? If he will be happy and pleased if he can see Rama and Sita, not Krishna and Rukmini. He won't be. So he is telling Rukmini, you have to assume the form of Sita. And I'll take the form of Rama. Only then Hanuman will be happy. That is one-pointed devotion that Hanuman had. And in the Ram Nam we sing, wherever Sri Rama's name is being sung, there Hanuman is there with tearful eyes, with folded hands, he is sitting there. Through devotion to Rama, through devotion to Hanuman, we can reach Rama. That's what it says. And Tulsidas, the great poet sage, had the vision of Sri Rama through the blessings of Hanuman. He prayed to Hanuman to have the vision of Rama. And then Hanuman helped him to have Sri Rama's vision. So let's also pray to Hanuman to help us to have the vision of Sri Rama. Thank you.
So, as you know, we have the Easter weekend coming up. So we won't be having the Friday night discussion or any talk next Sunday. In fact, next Sunday, we will be going to Dharma for the day, our retreat place in Robertson. And you're welcome to join us. The Gayatriprana will be going there just for the day. We'll get there at about 10:30, be there till about 4:30. So it's a very nice time of year down there, of course, the autumn colors. So you are welcome to join us. The yoga class will be on this coming Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. After the Easter break, we'll recommence with the Friday night. There'll be the spiritual evening on the Friday night and the Sunday talk. We'll be sending out the April program to you this week. So you'll see all of the programs coming up. And we've got donation plate and donation box up the back. And please stay back to get a share of the sweets and savories.